Welcome. In today's video, we will be looking at how do you identify your core needs in a relationship. This is going to answer the question, what are your core needs in any relationship? And work to the end as you will be able to identify your core needs in any relationship and learn how to keep your man. My name is Steven Biko, and in this channel, I provide wisdom applicable to progress in any area of your life. Whether you watch this channel for advice in your love life, or whether you're here because you like the ways of thinking in general that you get from this channel, you're going to be able to apply this to anything you want to achieve this year. You may reach me and join me in supporting this show through www.patreon.com/realwisdom and be a VIP member. Before we go on, like this video and show me love by subscribing, as I have a big number of people watching the show and you need to hit the subscribe button. Join me by just hitting the subscribe button as we continue to do this journey in delivering quality content for your consumption. Thank you. Let's get started. We all start our relationships because we need to love and be loved, to feel appreciated and safe. But these are not the only basic needs that each person seeks in a romantic union. So what are the rest of the valuable things that we get to seek? The problem is that we can rarely formulate our core needs in a relationship because we never thought about them. As a result, we start dating new people, hoping that they make us feel good. It never happens. To avoid another romantic disappointment, you should start identifying your relationship needs. When you have a clear structure of the needs that you find, it's much easier to gravitate to the right partners instead of wasting your time on dead-end relationships. So how do you know what's right for you? Keep watching to find out. In this video, I'm going to be sharing, number 1, the core needs in a relationship. What are they? Number 2, how can the basic relationship needs differ from person to person? Number 3, how will you determine your relationship needs? 4, can your core needs change with time? 5, and my final thoughts on this topic on what we are going to cover. Number 1, core needs in a relationship. What are they? Human needs can be categorized into several types such as physical, financial, emotional, and more. However, majority of the relationship needs are psychological. The basic needs are the following: affection, which is romantic gesture, words of love, sex. Next, respect, your opinion matters to the other person. Then appreciation, which receive gratitude and praise. And security, which is physical and emotional safety, which include loyalty and the partners faithful to each other. And lastly, trust, which transparency in all aspects of life. You can also have a hierarchy of those concepts decided which are for fundamental and which are more or less flexible. An example, trust and loyalty are the top priorities and you want your partner to follow them. So if someone lies to you or cheats, that's a deal breaker. At the same time, you used to speaking about your feelings, but don't mind that your partner doesn't share much because they are reserved or shy. Essentially, each person has to determine their needs for themselves and look for a partner who has similar values. Can basic relationship needs differ from person to person? We all value similar things, fundamental but building a lasting relationship, such as love, passion, support, or more. But do we appreciate them to the same extent? Obviously, the answer is no, because the different people have their own hierarchy of the needs. It means that one specific need, such as raising kids, can be not as important to emotional comfort in a couple for one person, but be a priority to another. So, what does it depend on? You see, studies show The distribution of values and primary depends on age, but there are other factors such as family traditions, culture, education, social circle, and personal traits. Even though one core needs like support and compassion are present in every person's belief system, regarding healthy relationships, their importance may vary from one individual to another. How do we determine filling relationship needs? When you know your core needs, you can determine the people that you want to engage with by constantly or unconsciously comparing your needs and the other person's ability to meet them. Without a clear value system, you can lose yourself in a relationship and do things you don't enjoy. But fear not. The shared techniques in this video is going to help you to get the right track and determine your core needs. So, number one, identify your love language. Love language are a concept first described in the 1990s by Gary Chapman, a PhD. Essentially, this is how you receive and express affection on our relationships. If you can identify your love language, you can be better to understand your basic needs in a relationship. There are 5 love languages that we have, which is physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, and acts of service. To find out which of them you go to the language you choose. One thing that is most significant in a relationship from the options and sharing this video, each of the options corresponds to the previous list of love languages that I've provided. What matters to you most? Walking down the street, holding hands and cuddling hugs and kisses when your partner says words of love, compliments, and praise you, spending most of the evening and weekends together. When your loved one often surprises you with gifts and actual support such as help with chores and breakfast in bed. Each love language can be translated into core needs. Physical touch is physical intimacy and sex. Words of affirmation equate to emotional support, and receiving gifts means attention, and acts of service are done through help and support, and quality time means attachment. So, action 1 is to determine which love languages are closer to your heart. The second is decide what you currently makes you happy and or mad. You can use this simple exercise to figure out what you appreciate and can't stand in a relationship. So let's start to identify the things that you enjoy. Take a sheet of paper and write "I love it when" and "it's great when" on a piece of paper at least 10 to 15 times. Then come up with suitable ending. You can use your current past relationship as an example. The things that you wrote are your needs. If you can't clearly define what's most important to you in a relationship, try to reverse approach. It means pointing out the qualities and actions that you consider unacceptable. And again, take a piece of paper and write "I can't stand" or "I hate it when" several times and complete the sentences. For instance, let's say that you wrote "I hate it when your partner leaves dirty dishes in the sink." It means that you appreciate tidiness and a trait for your loved ones, and you want them to perceive cleanness and rewarding work, not as source of frustration. Go through the entire list and add more phrases like that. When you remember something else at this point, you can write as many things as you want. Later, you learn to differentiate between the fundamental values and desirable but not required ones. Action 2, write "I love you when" or "it's great when." Write "I can't stand" or "I hate it when." Then list 15 items on each. Then the third aspect is set your priorities. Now when you have a list of the needs, it's time to decide which are the most haves, and it's okay to have as many standards and strive for perfection, but unfortunately you won't likely find a person who will fit all your requirements. The following method should help you to narrow the needs to 5 to 7 critical things. For now, you have approximately 15 of them on a list in front of you. So write your needs on small pieces of paper and lay them in front of you on a table or other surface. Now, imagine you are crossing a river, but at the end of the bridge, you must leave one item behind. What it's going to be? Repeat the same exercise until you have 5 to 7 things without which you can't imagine a romantic relationship. Of course, the number can be higher depending on your personality. The last step is to order your concentrated needs by their importance. It is the effective way to determine which of the items are looking for in a relationship in the first place walk by if they aren't present. So action, decide which of the must-have items for your needs. Then fourthly, discuss your needs with your partner. The conversation is an effective way to check the couple's compatibility and see if they view things similarly. In addition, it's going to help you to compare your values and boundaries and determine if you share them. You should start and mentioning your core needs. Things like having kids and spending money are a little awkward to discuss on the first date. Others, such as vacation preferences, are safe to talk anytime. Generally, you need to wait for the fourth to the fifth date. In the meantime, ensure the chemistry and the emotional connection before discussing serious topics. Otherwise, there's no point of wasting time matching your values. Naturally, your partner will disagree with several things of their priority. So, many dissimilarities equal fewer chances for a relationship to succeed in the long run. But before you decide to break up, ask yourself the following questions. Can your partner adjust to your beliefs over time? If they can you bend your own rules? Is this specific need to disagree or overweighing the current relationship? In the first and the second answer are yes. Don't rush to call it quits. There's still hope to find common ground. The fourth action is to schedule for this discussion with your partner now. Analyze your current relationship is your fifth action. And if you're currently dating, you can analyze the existing romantic relationship to determine what is important to you. Ask yourself the following questions and write down the answers. What do you like about your partner's actions? For instance, if they respect your opinion and give their space when needed. What is missing in your relationship? Perhaps you often feel alone or your partner does not pay enough attention to you. When was the last time you felt inspired in the relationship? What was happening, for example, your loved one refused to go to a bar with friends or spend time with you? What has worried you or you're nervous lately? Maybe you feel that your partner hasn't been honest or noticed some signs leading you to thought there might be cheating. It means that you value honesty and transparency. What is your role in the relationship? An example is that you may favor the traditional model with one partner leads and the other follows. Or maybe your partner split decision and obligations down the middle. The answer to these questions will reveal your genuine opinion about the ideal relationship components. Can core needs change with time? Basic needs and values do change over time despite their universal nature. It can happen gradually with aging and spontaneously if a person faces significant life events. Social media and advertisement also have significant impact, especially in young and middle adulthood. One interesting consequence of altering at least one value is that the others will also begin to change to fit it. It doesn't happen in one day or typically takes a year or two. It means that you will be a different person 10 years or so when a significant different value system. So be wary of that and check on your needs from time to time. Finally, building a happy relationship begins with mutual sympathy and continues and strengthens if the couple has the exact core needs. That's why it is so important to identify them early on. It will help you to weed out suitable partners and focus on finding the right person. We have looked at how to identify your core needs in a relationship, and this has enabled you to keep winning when deciding in your relationship and marriage. But it is not everything, as you still need to watch the video, the 10 signs that your marriage and relationship is over and it's time to move on. Until next time, have a good one and see you in the next one.